Where the devil should this Romeo be? Came he not home tonight? Not to his father's, I spoke with his man. Why, that same pale, hard-hearted wench, that Rosaline, torments him so that he will sure run mad. Tybalt, the kinsman to old Capulet, hath sent a letter to his father's house. A challenge on my life. Romeo will answer it. Any man that can write may answer a letter. Nay, he will answer the letter's master, how he dares being dared. Alas, poor Romeo, he is already dead, stabbed with a white wench's black eye, run through the ear with a love song, the very pin of his heart cleft with the blind boy's butt shaft. And is he a man to encounter Tybalt? Why, what is Tybalt? More than a prince of cats, and he is the courageous captain of compliments. He fights, as you sing prick song, keeps time, distance, and proportion. He rests, his minim rests 1, 2, and a third in your bosom, the very butcher of a silk button, a duellist, a gentleman of the very first house, of the first and second cause. Ah, the immortal Pissarro, the punto reverso, the hay, the what? The pox of such antic lisping, affecting phantasms, these new tuners of accent. By Jesu, a very good blade, a very tall man, a very good whore. Why is not this a lamentable thing, grandsire, that we should be thus afflicted with these strange flies, these fashion-mongers, these, pardon me, who stand so much on the new form that they cannot sit at ease on the old bench? Oh, their bones, their bones. Here comes Romeo, without his roe, like a dried herring. O flesh, how art thou fishified? Now is he for the numbers that Petrarch flowed in. Laura to his lady was a kitchen wench. Mary, she had a better love to berhyme her. Dido a dowdy, Cleopatra gypsy, Helen and Hero, Hildings and harlots. This a grey eye or so, but not to the purpose. Signor Romeo, bonjour. There's a French salutation to your French slop. You gave us the counterfeit fairly last night. Good morrow to you both. What counterfeit did I give you? The slip, sir, the slip. Can you not conceive? Pardon. Good Mercutio, my business was great, and in such a case as mine a man may strain courtesy. That's as much as to say such a case as yours constrains a man to bows in their hams, meaning to curtsy. Thou hast most kindly hit it, a most courteous exposition. Nay, I am the very pink of courtesy. Pink for flower. Right. Why, then is my plump well flowered. Sure wit, follow me this jest now till thou hast worn out thy pomp, that when the single soul of it is worn, the jest may remain after the wearing solely singular. A single-souled jest solely singular for the singleness. Come between us, good Benvolio. My wits faints. Switch and spurs, or I'll cry a match. Nay, if our wits run the wild goose chase, I am done, for thou hast more of the wild goose in one of thy wits that, I am sure, I have in my whole 5. Was I with you there for the goose? Thou wast never with me for anything when thou wast not there for the goose. I will bite thee by the ear for that gist. Nay, good goose, bite not. Thy wit is a very bitter sweeting. It is a most sharp sauce, and it is not then well served into a sweet goose. Oh, here's a wit of Cheverel that stretches from an inch narrow to an ell broad. I stretch it out for that word broad, which, added to the goose, proves the far and wide a broad goose. Why, is not this better now than groaning for love? Now art thou sociable, now art thou Romeo, now art thou what thou art, by art as well as by nature. For this driveling love is like a great natural that runs, holding, lolling up and down to hide his bauble in a hole. Stop there, stop there. Thou desirest me to stop in my tail against the hair. Thou wouldst else have made thy tail large. Oh, thou art deceived. I would have made it short, for I was come to the whole depth of my tail, and meant indeed to occupy the argument no longer. Here's goodly gear, a sail, two, a shirt and a smock. Peter, anon, my Phaon Peter. Good Peter to hide her face, for her fans the fairer face. Good God, you good tomorrow, gentlemen. God, you good Eden fair gentlewoman. Is it good in? 'Tis no less, I tell you. For the body hand of the dial is now upon the prick of noon. Out upon you, what a man are you, one gentle woman that God hath made himself to mar. By my troth, it is well said for himself to mar. Quoth he, Gentlemen, can any of you tell me where I may find the young Romeo? I can tell you, but young Romeo will be older when you have found him than he was when you sought him. I am the youngest of that name, for fault of a worse. You say well. Yes. Is the worst well? Very well took, if faith wisely. If you be he, sir, I desire some confidence with you. She will indict him to some supper. Abad, so ho! What hast thou found? No hare, sir, unless a hare, sir, in a Lenten pie that is something stale and hoar ere it be spent. An old hare whore is very good meat in Lent, but a hare that is a whore is too much of a score, for it whores ere it be spent. Romeo, will you come to your father's? Will to dinner thither? I will follow you. Farewell, ancient lady. Farewell, lady. I pray you, sir, what saucy merchant was so full of his ropery? A gentleman nurse that loves to hear himself talk, and will speak more in a minute than he will stand to in a month. And he speak anything against me, I'll take him down, and he were lustier than he is, and 20 such jacks, and if I cannot, I'll find those that shall. Scurvy knave, I am none of his flirt gills, I am none of his skein mates, and thou must stand by too, and suffer every knave to use me at his pleasure. I saw no man use you at his pleasure. If I had, my weapon should quickly have been out. I warrant you, I dare draw as soon as another man, if I see occasion and a good quarrel, and the law on my side. No, afore God, I am so vexed that every part about me quivers. Scurvy knave, pray you, sir, a word, and as I told you, my young lady bid me inquire you out. What she bid me say, I will keep to myself. But first, let me tell you, if you should lead her in a fool's paradise, as they say, it were a very gross kind of behavior, as they say. For the gentlewoman is young, and therefore, if thou should deal double with her, truly it were an ill thing to be offered to any gentlewoman, and very weak dealing. Nurse, commend me to thy lady and mistress, I protest unto thee. Good heart, and if faith, I will tell her as much, Lord, she will be a joyful woman. What, wilt thou tell her, nurse? Thou dost not mark me. I will tell her, sir, that you do protest, which is, as I take it, is a gentlemanlike offer. Better devise a means to come to shrift this afternoon, and there she shall at Friar Lawrence's cell be shrived and married.